So here we go again with another video about Mike Gill. I got this information from the guy that had posted that last video that I was looking at. And I want to be clear. I'm not actually suggesting that the people that Mike Gill talks about are not corrupt. Like, I don't know. I have no idea, and I will hold judgment on that until enough evidence is actually submitted to convince me one way or another. I suspect he's probably correct and they are corrupt. But here's the problem. In order for you to go to court, or in order for the sheriff to go and arrest this person or to start an investigation, they've got to have enough evidence to actually go and do that. And so when you think you have evidence and you submit that evidence to the police department and they don't act on it, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're corrupt. It could be that your evidence that you have is not solid enough for them to act on it. And so we're going to take a look at this evidence. This is another example of something that he sent to the sheriff or to the police department. And we're going to take a look at it and see what it actually says and whether you think it actually has enough actionable information in it to actually do something with it. So the first, and again, I want to preface this, whoever, well, we'll just say Mike Gill's the one that's actually slandering everybody, and he's the one that's out on YouTube, on Rumble every day, on Michelle Moore's show, talking bad about everybody. So I put it in Mike Gill's camp to organize his information. If he's going to attack everybody, he ought to have it organized in a way to prove his point. To have enough evidence to actually go to court if he needed to. Now, we'll throw out there that Mike Gill has been taken to court for slander and lost and owes currently millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars to the people that he slandered. So we'll leave that out there because those are facts. There's court records to back that up, and even he admits that it's happened. So let's take a look at this evidence, because that's what this is. This is a criminal complaint that he submitted. This is the response. For some reason, he's got the sheriff's response first, but he, the police department acknowledges that they got all of the information pertaining to Dick and Agnost, and then Andrew Cruz and William Griner. And, he's basically saying that he's going to hand it off to one of his lawyers and have them get in touch with Mike Gill. Then the second page, I'm assuming, is the actual criminal complaint that got filed. And you can see here, this was July the 19th when he actually responded. And this is Mike Gill's information to him on July the 14th. And it looks like right here, it looks like someone wrote on there the 18th. So I'm assuming maybe this is the actual, it says JB, and this is John. I ain't even going to try to say that word. But I'm assuming this was the guy that got the letter that wrote this. So this is his criminal complaint that he actually filed with the police department. And it says, what I've enclosed is just information pertaining to 12 witnesses, and I have 3 to 4 times as many. Again, claiming that you have 3 or 4 times as many, I can tell you from my experience in business that people claim they have all kinds of things, and when you sit them down and say, okay, let's see it, they rarely actually produce what they claim that they had. But we'll leave it out there because he hasn't supplied it, so we just have to assume he doesn't have it. And it says, who are willing to testify regarding the knowledge of the below matter. Here's the problem. If these people have not written any affidavits, they haven't sworn under a penalty of perjury that what they're saying is actually true, which they haven't done based on the fact that he hasn't supplied any of it. Even if he redacted their names off of it, there is no affidavit that claims any of this stuff. This is all 100% Mike Gill making claims and even claiming that he has other people that are making the claims that he's making but he never supplies anything to back that up. So right now, the police department, there's no freaking way that they're going to act on this information because they don't know who the hell Mike Gill's even talking to. So it says that he actually has, it says this individual's been doing drugs for 40 years. This is Mike or Dick, an agnost. And it says the evidence addresses not only drug dealing, but the criminality of the protection of this drug dealer and his operations throughout the state of New Hampshire. So it names some other people and it talks about his witnesses. And again, it is Mike Gill making a claim that there's another person making a claim. That's what we're dealing with at the police level of the police department right now. And Mike Gill has now, he thinks that the police department is all corrupt and that they're all involved in this. But again, he hasn't actually provided any evidence. So the police department, I mean, what are they going to get a warrant or what authorize, to spend funds researching this based on one guy's word that there's another guy that actually said the word? It's ludicrous. So let's keep going because this letter isn't really worth reading. And so this is his partial witness list. And this is from 2016, lifelong politician. So now we have probably one of the most corrupt people on the planet giving him testimony, but it's not via an affidavit. It's not anything that you could make sure that it was going to uphold in a court of law. It's just Mike Gill's word that this other guy said these things. And so there's your first. The second one is a New Hampshire resident involved in a relationship with a member of a motorcycle gang. So this woman obviously doesn't make the best decisions in her life, and she's one of your witnesses. But again, no affidavit, no information. In fact, you literally have no proof that there's even a woman that's in a relationship with a motorcycle gang. This is all Mike Gill's testimony. And this is not a sworn affidavit either. This is not Mike Gill swearing under oath that any of this is even real. So then it goes into this individual. I think this actually he witnessed an arrest with possession of drugs. No police report is provided. No policeman is provided. It says that the policeman actually has a copy of the police report, but it isn't supplied. So, and it's worth mentioning, why hide this guy? Because the police department can easily go look and see who arrested Agnost and figure out who this police officer is, because he's retired and he has a police report. So that'd be super simple to figure out who that is. So then it goes on. It's got long-standing personal relationship, part of a federal drug task force in 2000, worked with officer in charge Michael Hambrook, so he at least named one guy, worked with DEA, IRS, and state police, knew the suspect of the investigation well, talking about Agnost. An Agnost house was wired and being videotaped was surrounding. DEA kidnapped the witness and bust was sabotage, done intentionally. This is another example of Mike Gill offering his opinion of something being done intentionally with no evidence that, you have no idea what the hell he's even talking about. Who is the witness? Who kidnapped him? How do you know it was done intentionally? What exactly are we talking about here? Because there's no evidence of any of this stuff. It's literally Mike Gill's word. That's the only thing that we have to go on right now. Claims that an Agnost brought the illegal immigrants from Mexico in to work on the project. Again, no information, no evidence, just Mike Gill's word. So then we got a state senator, a local business owner, a politician, a John Doe number 2. I don't even know, why do you call him John Doe number 2, but you call this guy a politician and a business owner? They're all John Does. You don't know who any of them are. And then we get into text messages. No dates, no no idea who he's talking to. And you have to understand, I could literally go get my son's phone right now, change the name for my son to President Trump, and show you text messages between myself and President Trump talking about all kinds of stuff. If you don't have the phone records to back up those text messages, then they're meaningless. There's no way to prove that these text messages are real. And it's also suspicious that all we have are typed out messages from Mike Gill that these even exist. So, and then we have a complete duplication of what we just looked at, repeated over here for him to send it to this U.S. attorney. So this document is just complete nonsense. So we also have this document over here, and this is 79 pages, evidently, of text messages. At least it appears to be. Let me get, or no. So the whole first 3/4 of this document are actually invoices from the law office. There's no detail here other than the telephone conference with Lisa Troy or Tracy. Let's see, zoom up a little bit. Lisa Tracy. So, but these are invoices. They don't. I mean, what am I going to go to court? If you're going to go to court and claim that they spoke to Lisa Tracy, then okay, this is evidence. But what does that matter if you don't know what they talked about? And there's nothing here to even indicate that he does know what they were talking about. So this is all a bunch of invoices. And then as you get down toward the end here, you get into these text messages. Well, let's look at the text message. You can't see the date of when this was actually done. The dates are all obscured. You can't read them. You don't know who it was to. You know it was sent at 8 o'clock in the morning. That's the only thing that we know, but we don't have any, and they're all this way. Every single one of these are the most poorly produced documents I've ever seen. Like, it's obviously a screenshot. It has the battery symbol up here. But I have no idea what this evidence is even supposed to be. We have no explanation of what the hell we were talking about. It's just shit all thrown into this document. I don't, if I were going to actually put forth a proof that this person was involved in something, I'd have video evidence, sound, whatever, going through and detailing what exactly is going on. But there's nothing here. Why on earth would you fall for that again? That is what makes this situation completely impossible. That makes no sense. All right. And so let's see what Mike, I'm sorry. I just want you to be safe. Call the private investigators. So this is that woman that he claims that he was talking to. That's the attorney that did the research paper, but it was written by Mike Gill. There's no way you can convince me that some third party wrote all of that, because it's too personal and too, informative and around Mike Gill's narrative. Like, there's no interviews that got done with any of the parties involved. It was all, again, Mike's interpretation of what happened in this particular situation. So it's all this way. Like, there is nothing, when you get through here and you start reading all this stuff, if you're honest and if I were to just send you this document and not tell you anything at all about what it was in relation to, you would have no idea what it was being talked about. So here is Thursday, June 19th at 2:01 a.m. No date. I don't know when this was sent. I don't know anything. I have no context with this at all, other than somebody saying that they're scared to death. I am completely alone. My family does not even talk to me. My phone, etc., is all diverted and controlled. I have no idea why. Is this Mike Gill talking? Why would he black out his name? I just, text messages from who with concerns for her safety. So we know it's a her. We assume that it's that attorney lady because he submitted that stuff, in that other document. So I don't know, guys. you want to believe him because you want to believe someone has proof that these people are corrupt as hell. We know they're all corrupt. We know they probably are all drug dealers. But if you don't have evidence, then you don't have evidence. And Mike Gill has no evidence. We're literally trying to build his evidence for him. There's people that have taken all of this bullshit that he has and attempted to organize it into folders and stuff. We've looked at it in some of my other videos, but you can't even figure out what the hell is going on from that because they had no idea. And it's also interesting that anyone that is in the least bit questioning of what Mike is saying, he blocks you. Him or Michelle Moore, they block you. I am absolutely blocked on Michelle Moore's page simply for pointing out the fact that there's no evidence here. Everybody keeps talking about there's evidence. If you go look for the evidence in the file, you can get links to where all this stuff is stored. There is literally no evidence up there, not a single shred. So I don't know, just keep trying to figure it out, I guess. But right now I am still firmly in the fence that Mike Gill is not being honest about what actually happened and what's going on. He may believe, I do believe he believes that this is what's going on, but again, if you have no evidence, I don't really see what the point in screaming is.